Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. As we come to the close of 2011, and with regard to the conflict in the Middle East, mainly that conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, I think we're arriving at what is a much more realistic appraisal of what's going on there. And this is a hopeful sign. The fantasies and the delusional dreams that have gone on with regard to peace are hopefully coming to an end. This weekend, this past weekend, on Sunday, Israeli Foreign Minister Avigdor Lieberman said the Palestinians are not working toward peace, but rather trying to internationalize the conflict. That is, they want to bring it to the UN, keep doing that, and see if they can't get a state established through the United Nations rather than through negotiations with Israel. Therefore, he said, Israel must work, and this is a key phrase, Israel must work to manage the conflict and not to solve it. And that's in keeping with all the briefings I received during my recent visit in Israel. The intelligence gathering people, the leadership, the decision-making people, they were recognizing, they were saying to us who were in these briefings, there won't be peace with the Palestinians in the foreseeable future, but we can manage and contain the conflict. Just Sunday, the former Chief of Staff of the Israel Defense Forces, Moshe Ya'alon, who now serves as a Vice Premier, he said Sunday that he suggested that Israel had persuaded President Obama to change his strategy from trying to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to merely managing it. And that is a huge step. I think we have to recognize that there is such turmoil in the Middle East. The Palestinians, in anticipation of what they want to do in the future, have canceled, or suggested that they may cancel the agreement signed between the PLO and Israel. The Prime Minister has said he will not deal with the PLO if Hamas joins the PLO. The turmoil continues at every turn. The Islamists have taken over Egypt, the recent elections, for all practical purpose. There's a fragile condition of Iraq's democracy since we pulled out all our own forces there. There's the ongoing bloodshed in Syria. There's the likelihood that the weapons of mass destruction that Syria has will go to Hezbollah in Lebanon if Syria does actually fall. And then, of course, there's Iran's continuing obsessive pursuit of nuclear weapons. So it's not realistic to think in terms of peace as we have in the past. And I think it's very important that these statements are being made. And these statements can be backed up by the resolve, the reserve, the determination of Israel. They realize finally, I think our diplomats, our political and military leaders realize that it's peace in the sense of living side by side in peace and security for Palestinians is just simply not going to happen. That is a delusional dream. It has been all along, but I think our leaders are finally recognizing that, and that's a hopeful sign for the future. That does not mean that there will not be conflict, but it does mean that Israel has the capacity to manage that conflict and to do so at depth. As a matter of fact, the IDF Chief of Staff, General Benny Gantz, has reestablished the Israeli Army's depth corps, or distance corps. That means containing the conflict, managing the conflict at a distance. As we speak, there are Israeli forces in Sudan that has been a vehicle of transporting arms through Sudan to Hamas in Gaza Strip. And Israeli Air Force and others are taking out and stopping these convoys. That's what they're talking about in managing the conflict in depth. So there will be conflict, but there is a realistic look at what Israel and the Palestinians are facing, certainly in the year ahead. The policymakers, the prophets, the preachers who have called for peace, actually it reminds me of what Jeremiah says, or what God says through the prophet Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 11. They dress the wounds of my people as though they were not serious. Peace, peace, they say, when there is no peace. No, there will not be peace. It's not going to happen. It will not happen until the Prince of Peace comes. And we know who that is. Even so, come quickly, Lord Jesus. So until next week, Od Yavo Shiloh, or until Messiah comes, Shalom Aleichem.